This is part 3 of the 4-part series for installing this Pioneer mini split system. In part 1, you can find the link up here, we covered the unboxing and everything that you'll get and some of the tools that we're using. Those links to the tools are also down below in the description. In part 2, link up here, we covered the overall installation of the unit. Now in part 3, we're going to vacuum the lines, we're going to release the coolant, so we're ready to start it up. In part 4, we'll cover the overall review and how I think it compares to the other unit that I've installed, which is a totally different brand. And we'll also work on getting it hooked up to home automation. I hope you enjoy this video. Thanks for watching. And just like that, we're ready to vacuum it, and then we'll test for leaks by seeing if the vacuum holds. Get you a set of gauges. I got these on Amazon. There's a link down below to either these or some similar ones. The other thing you want to do is get this mini split adapter. You can get these also, link down below. And here's what you do, is that you hook the vacuum side up to your vacuum. There's 2 ports on here, so we're going to use the side port. I want to make sure this one's snug. And then you want to close this high side off because you're not going to be really using it. The low side, you're going to want to open it up. And then over here, likewise, the low side, which is the bigger tube, the 3/8" tube, you're going to hook up the blue side up to here. There's a Schrader valve in there. Don't worry about that. Your vacuum will work without removing the Schrader valve. And I'm going to hook this to that and that. And now that you've got these connections tight, you want to make sure that they are tight so that Schrader valve gets pushed down a little bit. Leave this connection, leave this cap on, leave that cap on, because we're going to mess with those last. This is the service port. That's all you want to do here. Now you want to open up this side. So now you have a path. The vacuum's going to come from your tubing and from the indoor system. It's not going to affect this because we haven't released all that yet. The vacuum will come through here, up through your gauge, back down, and it's pulled in from the vacuum. And then you might see some mist or something come out here, and that's perfectly normal. So now we're going to turn it on. We're going to let this run, and I'll let you know what you're looking for here in a moment. See that mist? That's good, and that's what you're looking for. They say to let this run for about 30 minutes. So now what you're looking for on your gauges is that you started at 0 and it dropped to negative. So you want to look at negative 30. And we're almost there. It's getting there. And it says it'll take 15 minutes or longer to get there sometimes. But once it's at negative 30, then you can close this valve completely and turn off the vacuum, and then we'll see if it holds the pressure. So mine's not there yet. Okay, we've been letting this go about 30 minutes, and we are at 28, negative 28. All right, so all gauges don't get to negative 30. Well, the thing you want to do now is close this low side before you turn off the vacuum pump. Make sure it's good and tightly closed. Then you turn off the vacuum pump. And now we're going to wait at least 15 minutes and see if this needle drops. If it drops, you've got a leak somewhere. Okay, we've been waiting at least 30 minutes and we've had absolutely no change in pressure. As I said, my gauge never got to 30. Yours might, but a lot of gauges will only get to 28.5 or 28 or 29. And ours is sitting at about 28.5. All right, so we're going to come over here and we're going to open up these caps. Just like this for one of them. That's the low side. And then this is the high side. The high side's what we want to deal with first. Now, your kit probably came with an Allen key. If not, you probably have an Allen key that'll fit. So you can try one. And there is a port right in here, and you want to open this up for 5 seconds, a quarter turn for 5 seconds, and then close it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then ease it shut. And what you couldn't see while I was doing that was that my gauge went from the negative 28.5 up to where it sits now. So now you can look at it again for leaks and make sure that pressure holds. And then we're ready for the next step. What that just did was it put some pressure in the system. So now you have a positive pressure coming out and you can remove your gauges. And you'll need to loosen those up, and you can expect some refrigerant's going to come out. Do not be afraid of that and just keep going. At this point, I'm going to get a pair of gloves because that refrigerant can be pretty cold. I suggest you do the same. Now you have a closed system and you're ready to actually add the coolant fully to the system. Alright, we're going to put this service cap back on. It's got a Schrader valve in it, so you don't worry about it being airtight. And now you can open up the system fully. So we're going to come and go counterclockwise again. We'll put the other end of the Allen wrench in. We'll come all the way out until you feel a little resistance and stop. Do not put pressure on it and keep going, because you do not want to remove that valve, because that whole valve could come out. All right, so now you can come up to the top system, to the top low side, and you can open it up. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to come and reverse it out until you feel it stop easily. And now it's stopped. You're not going to keep screwing because you don't want to remove that valve. Now you can put your caps back on and your system is fully charged. So we've got a cup of the same thing as dishwater, right? Just a couple of drops of something like Dawn in there, and we're going to pour this on here. And the reason why we're checking again is because now the system is under high pressure. So if there's a leak, it will show itself even more evidently than it did before. So you're double checking for leaks in this point. Right away you would see bubbles coming out if there's a leak. There's no leak on this outside system, as you can see. Now we just need to take our disconnect and flip our plug upside down to where it is on instead of off. And we should be good to go inside and find our remote and turn it on. I hope you enjoyed part 3. You can always look for the other links below to parts 1 and 2. And later on, I'll also post part 4, a link down below to that. I'd like to thank you for watching. If you have any questions or comments, please put them down below. I love to hear from you guys, or you ladies. Like, share, and subscribe. Be on the lookout for part 4.